transit of Jupiter in second house from moon sign Capricorn. The dates start from 6th of April 2021 till 14th of September 2021. The transit of Jupiter in second house from moon sign Capricorn. The dates start from 6th April 2021 till 14th of September 2021. During this particular period, Jupiter will move through your second house, your moon sign Capricorn. This mostly denotes good timing. This could be a rewarding phase for you where you're likely to add on to your present financial earning, financial gain, profit in trade, business, job, land, property, business. Also spend happily with your heart and with your will. Capricorn, this period also sees you investing in land, property or real estate and would help you to repay your debts if you have any debts. On the home front, there should be a happy phase, bringing happiness to your family. You may also expect to enjoy happy matrimonial life, happy romantic life. Capricorn, you may also expect a new member in the family. At work, you would be able to gain confidence of your seniors and would also be able to influence others. You would gain over your enemies during this particular time. Socially, this should be a satisfied period for you and you're likely to command more respect, more honor, and you would experience heightened grandeur and dignity. Capricorn, mentally you would be at peace with yourself and you're also likely to sharpen your intellect during this particular phase of time. Jupiter in second house Capricorn, this transit has traditionally been associated with making money, gaining wealth. There is something to that for you will attempt to grow in the share of material possession, resources now. But in the larger sense, what you're doing at this time is actualizing in your life whatever it is that you value. If it is a money or physical possession that you value, but that is area you will try to increase in and through spiritual involving ideas or standard of justice, whatever you will attempt to increase this dimension of your life, you'll achieve it. But obviously, then it is very important at this time to understand how you use resources because the chances are that you will indeed get more of whatever you want within the reason. Unfortunately, there is a great potential for mismanaging resources with this transit. If you're not clear about it, you need what you want, it's very easy to get so much of something that it runs your life instead of making your life more pleasant, more fulfilling. This is particularly true of effort to gain more money. Whatever you do, what you must do at this time in your life is to look at yourself, overall goal, overall honesty, see what you really must have in order to achieve them. It will be relatively easy to make the necessary changes in your resources to help attain your goal. So plan these changes wisely. This is not a call for total excessivism. If you want to buy something that is very expensive, perhaps a bit self-indulgent, there's no reason why you should not go after it. Just make sure that you really want it, that it is not merely a symbol of something you think you want it, but many people acquire possessions simply because they think they are expected to in order to show status, prestige and honor. To acquire for the reason of this sort would truly be a waste. Nevertheless, during this particular time period, material resources can be great comfort. You can drive a real name and honest player from them. In a large sense, you will learn more about yourself at this time through encountering possessions, having to handle them. Managing the material world will be of great value in promoting self-understanding. May I say that this particular time, for this reason, this is a good period in your life to invest money with little self-restraint or to buy possession either for enjoyment or for investment. Whenever you face any of the following problems and situations, if your 8th house is empty, if 8th house is occupied by Venus, Mercury or Rahu, 10th house is occupied by Saturn, lack of flow of income, humiliations, financial losses, then please do raise your Jupiter with the help of the following task. Task number 1, refrain from any form of non-vegetarian food or intoxication or smoking alcohol. Very important, when the Jupiter in second house, you should not consume any form of non-vegetarian food, intoxication, smoking alcohol. Second task, do wear astrological activated gold and yellow sapphire in gold, right hand's index finger. It's very, very important. Third task, please cultivate land. Try to cultivate land in your house, try to keep a garden in your house. If you're living in a flat or apartment, try to keep a lot of plant pots, like a plant pots 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as much you can afford in your flat or apartment. Fourth task, refrain from out of control behavior, refrain from out of control language or attitude. Please, it's very, very important. Transit of Jupiter in first house from your moon sign, Capricorn. The date starts from 14th September 2021 till 20th of November 2021. Transit of Jupiter again in first house from your moon sign, Capricorn. The date starts from 14th September 2021 till 20th of November 2021. During this particular period, Jupiter will move through your first house from your moon sign, Capricorn. During this particular period, Jupiter will move through your first house, Capricorn, from your moon sign, coming to the moon lagna. This brings in some significant negative result in this particular phase of time. Your health would require extra attention here in order to avoid any kind of health problem, diseases. Avoid taking risk when it comes to your health and well-being. Financially also, you may have to face a rough phase. You may lose some of your money due to unnecessary expenditure. Avoid long distance travel, as it may not yield the expected result during this particular phase of time. You are also likely to suffer from many anxieties during this particular traveling if you're traveling abroad. This is also a chance of you staying away from your native land during this particular phase. If unemployed, you face disappointment regarding your job, your employment. This could also prove to be trying time professionally. Avoid any kind of arguments with seniors at work, as it might give you mental agony. Moreover, put extra effort to complete your projects successfully and on time. This period may also see you suffer from punishment from the authorities, from the government authorities, or some sort of a humiliation and loss of position at work. Moreover, avoid any arguments with the family members and try to keep your calm. Be cautious in your decision while dealing with people. Capricorn, you would also need to keep your spirits high. This period may bring along some agony and depression as well. However, some of you may also find a solution to your previous problem during this particular phase of time. You may also get the news of conception of your child. Congratulations! Your interest in religious work will be rising, spiritual work will be rising. Students are likely to excel during this particular time phase. Your prestige in society is also likely to move up during this particular time. Jupiter in first house in your moon sign. This particular transit beginning of a major cycle of growth, starting something new. While Jupiter in this first house of your moon sign, you must try to discover what you are really capable of. You should get to know yourself, what you can really accomplish with your potential. Because under this influence, when the Jupiter is transiting in your moon sign, in your moon lagna, you feel more secure about yourself and the impression influence that you make upon others. You'll be a lot more confident, brave, presentable, may I say dignified, especially if you're professionally knowledgeable, qualified and skilled. Then your impression on people will be a lot more. But you should not react to this transit by exaggerating your own importance and just blowing away your trumpet all the time and boring people to death. Don't do that. If you're doing too much, that's not allowed. Look at the truth of who you are, what you are capable of. That should be entirely adequate. This particular time, this is also time for upgrading your knowledge, ability and skill set and gaining new experiences. All this is part of your present need for the growth, for the future, which affect not only yourself, but also the way you deal with situation, scenario as a whole. Capricorn, at this time, it's very important to upgrade your attitude or prejudice that may have hung over you from the long time. Personal resources are likely to be drawn to you now, and you should take constructive advantage of them. In other words, Capricorn, anyone whom you become involved with this time should benefit from your association as much you do. Only through mutual help will you really achieve growth. The spiritual dimension of yours should be greater now as compared to past. Capricorn, you have to know the deeper dimension and meaning as well. Otherwise, the rest become meaningless. This year should be quite fortunate for you in personal terms. Your relationship, your personal and professional and encounters with others should work to your advantage consistently. That's fantastic. Jupiter in the first house will increase your self-confidence. And boy, you should serve well and enable you to raises the scope of your activities in the world. But try not to be overbearing. Even if you score significant successes, don't delude yourself into thinking that you have all the answers and solution to every problem. No, the answer is no. You're still learning, upgrading, developing, may I say, absorbing under this particular transit of Jupiter. But Capricorn, whenever you're going to face any of the following problems and complications, if your 8th house is occupied by any other planet, 2nd house, 5th house, 9th house, 12th house occupied by enemy of Jupiter, and Moon is occupied in the 4th house. 2nd house, 5th house, 9th house, 12th house occupied by Rahu, Venus or Saturn or Mercury. Loss of status, prestige, comfort and family happiness. Trapped by enemies left, right and center. Lack of support, lack of guidance, feeling very lonely and very upset, then please do raise your Jupiter with the help of the following task. Task number 1, do bury 7 kg black salt in the cultivated land on Saturday early morning. Second task, do pierce your left nostril and do wear a white metal stud for 129 days. And after these days, take out the stud, flow in the fastest flowing river. But during that particular time when you're wearing the piercing your nose and wearing the white metal stud in your left nostril for 129 days, make sure, please, you should not perform any other task whatsoever.